We're doing it. We're doing it. Happy Monday. This is gonna be the last stream for a little while. This is gonna be the last stream. I am stoked. I'm ready. But this is gonna be the last stream until I get back from the East Coast tour. What's up, Anna? What's up, Karen? Good to see ya. And, yeah. Hi, Susan. How are you? Y'all are the early arrivals. What's up, Chironamo? What's up, Larry? How are you? What's up, Joe? Good to see ya. What's up, Dan? Yes, that's right. Dr. John passed away. I did get to see him. Lucy is on the couch. She is sleeping, and she's a little grumpy because she sees my suitcases out. And whenever she sees that, she knows what's happening. She knows that means I'm gonna leave. What's up, Mystic Warrior? Good to see ya. What's up, Marcus? What's up, Justine? Hey, Ron, do you take story suggestions on your Patreon? I deactivated Twitter. Of course. Yeah, absolutely. Send it over. Yeah. Howdy from the deep south. What's up, Nathan? Slow News Day says hit the like button. I agree with that. This is going to be our last stream for a little bit. I'm going to miss this, but I will be updating you all from the road as often as I can. And, of course, we'll have some updates here before we sign out. But also, I'll say it here first in case anybody, I know there's only a few of us here right now, and we haven't officially started yet. But just confirmed 2 new dates for the Progressive Comedy Tour. Madison, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, Minnesota. We are coming at you in September. September 6th in Madison, September 7th in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So keep your eyes peeled, and I will see you then. We are almost at 30, and once we're there, we will officially get started. Salem, Oregon. We're for sure going to be coming to Portland at some point. We will definitely come to Portland. We will definitely come to Seattle. Where's Salem in relation to that? I don't even know, to tell you the truth. I should know. I used to live in the Northwest. We are at 30. Welcome to Get Your News On with Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. What does that mean? That means you guys send me ideas, you tweet me stuff you want to talk about, and that's how we build the show. I'm seeing everything for the first time. You're seeing everything for the first time. And that's how we do things here. It is Music Monday. It is Music Monday, so we're going to be musicking it up. And we actually have, you know what, because this is the last stream for a little bit, we don't have one song of the day. We have 2 songs of the day today and a couple shout-outs we have to give. First of all, Slow News Day gave a shout-out to Minor Threat because I'm going to the East Coast. I'm going to the East Coast, and it wasn't too long ago that the 30th anniversary of the album Salad Days by Minor Threat was celebrated. And I'm a big Minor Threat fan. If you want to get into Minor Threat, I recommend just picking up the complete discography. It's not long. It's only about like 30 songs or so, because they were only around for a couple years. They went from 80 to 83. It was the first Discord Records band that Ian MacKaye decided he wanted to sing for. He was bass player on the Teen Idols, decided he wanted to take his hand at singing, so Minor Threat started in 80, and they really became a seminal band for that label, Discord Records, which is a DC hardcore punk label that's been around for a long, long time, pretty much since 1980. So they've been around a minute. They're still going strong. They still put out music. I'm going to DC. So Slow News Day wanted to give a shout out for Minor Threat, which is awesome. And by the way, what am I going to be doing in DC on June 11th? I'm going to be at the I'm going to be in the Senate building participating in the Epic all-day live stream for net neutrality. Where's that website? epiclivestream.com. We are going to the Senate building. We're going to hand Mitch McConnell a petition for net neutrality, and we're going to stick around because they're going to push for unanimous consent, and they're going to have a hearing regarding that. We're going to be in the Senate building covering it. So that's going to be happening on epiclivestream.com tomorrow. Literally tomorrow. I get on a plane tonight to head to D.C. And then, of course, the next day, June 12th, Progressive Comedy Tour is happening in Washington, D.C. Get your tickets now. They're still available, ronplacone.com. But shout out to Minor Threat. Minor Threat's one of the songs of the day. And that song is going to be... I'm just going to pick my favorite Minor Threat song. And I'm going to go with Filler. Or, you know what? For years, In My Eyes was my favorite Minor Threat song. But as time has gone on, I feel like Filler's my favorite Minor Threat song. And, of course, their self-titled song, Minor Threat, fantastic track. But we'll go with Filler. It was my first instinct. We'll go with the first instinct. Filler, classic Minor Threat tune. They're a great band. What can I say? You know, I learned a lot of valuable lessons from their music. I'm not a straight-edge person. I never was. But the lessons that I got out of their music was it's okay to be yourself. You know, even though I wasn't straight edge personally, a lesson I did take away from their music was that if you don't want to do drugs, you know, you don't have to quote, be cool. And I know that's kind of a cliche, but I really got that out of their music. What I got out of their music was don't let the substances you put in your body define who you are. Don't let, you know, just be yourself and stick up for principles and values that you believe in. And I really got a lot of those positive lessons from their music, even though actually being straight edge, I never really connected with. Still don't. But, and that was what it was really all about. So, anyway, yeah, Minor Threat. I recommend Filler if you've never listened to Minor Threat before. In My Eyes was my favorite Minor Threat song for a long time, but I feel like it's since evolved to Filler. So, shout out to Slow News Day for giving a shout out to Minor Threat. And Filler is going to be the song of the day. The other song of the day today, and this was recommended a little while ago by EJ, and I feel bad I'm just getting into it now because I got into this guy big time after this recommendation. So EJ, thank you so much for tweeting this music to me. The artist is Sam Fender, who is a newer artist out of the UK. The song, Hypersonic Missiles. So, great indie rock. Definitely has an Arcade Fire vibe. But like also with kind of like his own twist. He's got a very wide range in his voice. A young guy in his 20s. Great tunes. Think Arcade Fire meets like maybe Spoon a little bit. And great music and anti-war. So Hypersonic Missiles is a very outspoken anti-war song. It's critical of our culture. It's critical of mass consumption. And it's very clever. And it's kind of one of those things when you see a song like that on mainstream outlets, which it has been getting a lot of attention. It's gotten some television over in the UK in particular. It's refreshing to see. I checked out more of Sam Fender's catalog. He's great. He's fantastic. He is young. He is new. He's going to do amazing things. I don't know how I didn't find out about this guy sooner. Well, I do know how. It's because I'm old and I don't... I try to pay attention. I do my best, but I miss a lot of shit these days. It's hard. It's really hard. It's hard to keep paying attention and to stay on top of new music, but I make an effort to do it, and you all help me out, which is awesome. I'm luckier than most. I have folks on the stream helping me out, and EJ really helped me out by introducing me to Sam Fender, who I was not familiar with prior. I'm really glad I know who Sam Fender is now, because he's freaking awesome. Sam Fender, that track is Hypersonic Missiles. So the songs of the day, Slow News Day, shout out to Minor Threat. Check out Minor Threat's Filler if you never have. And if you have, revisit it. Time to revisit some Minor Threat, especially for me, because I'm heading to the East Coast tonight. Tonight, I'm heading to the East Coast. At this time tomorrow, I'll be in the Senate building. Isn't that nuts? A little bit. Yeah. All right. And, of course, for that, epiclivestream.com. And June 12th, We're going to be playing in D.C. for the Progressive Comedy Tour. I'll, of course, shout out all the dates at the end of the show today. But the songs of the day, Sam Fender, Hypersonic Missiles, Thank You for That, EJ, and Minor Threat, Filler. All right, we got some music stories, too. And we're going to go to that here. But let's start out with something a little heavier, so we can kind of balance it between heavy and light. So here's an article from Counterspin, and we're not going to go through the whole thing because it's very long, but it's an update on Julian Assange, or just kind of some thoughts on Julian Assange. And, you know, we cover what's going on with Julian Assange as of right now. You know, he's still sick. He's still being detained. And it's kind of trippy watching this. And trippy's a weird way to put it, I guess. But I don't know how else. We're watching this happen in real time. And we're experiencing a truly Orwellian experience in real time. And it's hard not to feel powerless. It's hard not to feel frustrated. And it's hard not to feel like I got to do something. You know, I mean, because it's one of those things that this is happening in real time. Where we are seeing a publisher being detained like this. And what is the crime he's being accused of? Well, basically, what they're really trying to get him for is they're trying to get him for publishing stuff that the powers that be didn't want to be published. That's really what they're trying to get him on, and they're fishing for these charges. They're trying to force a testimony out of Chelsea Manning, and that's really what's happening. So let's go to this article for a bit here. Freeing Julian Assange, Part 1. We've been so busy sifting through the ashes that too few of us have noticed what's been staring us in the face all along. Let's change that. The big picture. With millions of words written about Julian Assange, WikiLeaks and its associates swirling all around us daily, it's easy not to see the wood for the trees. The first port of call for those defending the world's most at-risk publishing organization and staff has been tackling the individual narratives of its oppressors, focusing on Sweden or Ecuador or the U.S. Department of Justice or grand juries or the U.K., and debunking their spin seems a necessary task. But we have to face the reality. Years of arguing till we're blue in the face about the intricacies of all the various aspects of the aforementioned, plenty of which I've engaged in myself, hasn't achieved victory. We're better off or stronger for it. Things are slipping and slipping fast. All right, so here's the reality. Here's kind of like the theme here. Look at this image here. The 3 pillars of a strong WikiLeaks. Publishing, leaks, sources, analysis, whistleblowers. Activism, outreach, solidarity, education, organizing, media, access, narrative, messaging, networking. These are also pillars of what it takes to have great journalism. To have access for journalists. To have protection for sources. To have people that are blowing the whistle when it's necessary. To have people that are publishing what those whistleblowers blow the whistle on. That's a recipe for good journalism, which is also what WikiLeaks is. How many things has WikiLeaks had to retract? I know we all know the answer. 0. They've had to make 0 retractions. And it wasn't too long ago. We all remember when Julian Assange was considered a hero because he was exposing war crimes. Then all of a sudden he exposed some things about the DNC that some folks didn't like. He became public enemy number 1. He was just continuing to do the job of WikiLeaks, which is publish documents for the public good. And look at what he's facing for it. I know, and there's so many little red herrings that people throw out there. I was actually talking to someone recently who brought up the fact that he's not a pleasant guy. And they're like, well, he's not a pleasant guy, so, some of this is kind of on him. And look, I have no idea if that's true or not. I have no clue. I've never met the man. I have no idea how pleasant he is or isn't. It doesn't matter. I mean, look at what's going on. Look at what's happening to him. That has nothing to do with him not being pleasant. It's just like, well, we weren't gonna unjustly persecute a publisher in a truly brutal Orwellian fashion. But once he was unpleasant, we decided we were going to do that. At first we were like, hey, press freedom's a value that we're kind of for. But then he wasn't pleasant. So we decided, well, you know what? We're going to be totally Orwellian now. We're going to persecute a publisher in a brutal Orwellian fashion, to the point where even the corporate media is finally waking up to the fact that, holy shit, it's like that famous meme on the internet. First they came for the journalists, and we don't know what happened after that, because there was nobody to tell us. So, it doesn't matter how pleasant or not pleasant Julian Assange may or may not be. Doesn't matter. And I will say this. If I had to go through what that dude went through, I would not be very pleasant. I'm not pleasant when I don't get my coffee immediately. If I had to go through a brutal Orwellian process for doing my job, I wouldn't be pleasant. And I would still go, if I was denied sunlight for years, all because I did my job as a publisher, if I had to witness press freedom being completely assaulted and spit upon, and, we're all witnessing it, but if I had to experience it that firsthand like he has, I wouldn't be that pleasant either. I guarantee you, I wouldn't be pleasant. So, those pillars are very important. Let's look at this image again here before we move on. Publishing, leaks, sources, analysis, whistleblowers, outreach, solidarity, education, organizing, media and PR, access, narrative, messaging, and networking. Press freedom should be a value. All right. Let's move on to other things. So this brings us to Illinois. This is a music article that Christina shared. Let me make sure I didn't... Christina, let me make sure that was you. Real quick here. I don't want to... And my Twitter feed is loading really, really slow. Yeah, Christina. All right. Took long enough for me to verify that was in fact Christina. But yes, that was Christina. All right. Here we go. Living in Harmony, Southern Illinois residents house musicians to support classical music festival. That's cool. In Carbondale, this is happening in Carbondale, each summer, Josh Schlachter packs up his 102-year-old violin and leaves the Grand Rapids Symphony in Michigan to perform for 2 weeks at the Southern Illinois Music Festival. He is one of many singers and instrumentalists who flock to the region's premier classical music event from universities and orchestra across the country. And thanks to his hosts, Joe and Lane Hudgens, he always feels at home. Schlachter, which I'm probably mispronouncing his name, is one of over 60 Southern Illinois Fest participants staying with the host family this year, according to music director Ed Benyas. It's a partnership that began around the festival's birth 15 years ago and is vital to its success, Benyas said, saving tens of thousands of dollars each year that can be put toward attracting talent like Schlachter. Hosts are compensated with free tickets to every show, but the friendships they build over the years are a greater reward, said several local families. We are family, said Paul and Kathy Hare, who has hosted French horn player Kurt Civilette for the last 9 years. He's a fantastic person. The three dine together during Civilette's summer stays and enjoy playing with Civilette's dogs, whom he often brings along. It is an opportunity to get to know professional musicians and know that they're people, Kathy Hare said, and it supports fantastic music that we don't often have in Southern Illinois. So this is a really feel-good story. Basically what happens, this is a smaller music festival. They probably don't have a ton of money. One of the ways that the community gets involved and helps is that they house some of these musicians. Keep in mind, we talked about symphonies and we covered the Chicago strike. When you're a musician in a symphony, you usually start out in smaller orchestras that don't pay as much. and you kind of have to pay your dues, and you want to get that gig with the Chicago Symphony or Boston or New York or London. And once you get that gig, you get a pretty good salary. You get compensated very well for what you do. You're also one of the best players in the world. But you really work your way up to that point, unless, of course, I guess if you're, talented enough, you kind of might get a really great opportunity right away if you're, that exceptional of a player, I'd imagine. I don't know for sure. But typically, you work your way up. And I'd imagine, for instance, in this article, I'd imagine somebody playing in the Grand Rapids Symphony in Michigan. They probably play in a couple other smaller symphonies to make ends meet. And they're probably getting by, making a living, but, they're probably not swimming in it, so to speak, They're probably, getting by, making a average salary at best. So when somebody can house them for a music festival, that goes a long way. Because maybe housing can't be provided for all the musicians, or maybe they, they kind of got to do it out of their own pocket. So, and I will say that, in my experience as a touring performer, I've done couch surfing before, and, comics, we really have we kind of have our own sort of punk rock network, if you will, where, you stay with other comics, and other comics will stay with you, and you try to just pay it forward. And I know for me, when I was living in my car, and I was just going from gig to gig, if it wasn't for the generosity of other comics and other people in the community, and also, my friends and family and just people I knew throughout the country, and the occasional couch surfing experience, I wouldn't have been able to pull it off. I mean, I wouldn't have been able to get by. I had those nights that I spent in my car, sure, but I usually, most of the time, had a couch. And it was through the generosity of other comics, and it was through, stuff like that really helped me get by. And even still these days, I occasionally will crash with friends on the road, and it certainly helps. I'm going out east on the next tour I'm going to be doing, at least as of the recording of this. The tour might be over by the time you see this clip. But as of the recording of this, I'm going to be on the East Coast, and I have a lot of friends out on the East Coast because I grew up in Pittsburgh, which is not East Coast, but, in that area. So a lot of my friends live in different East Coast cities now. So I am crashing with friends a good bit on this run and, help save some pennies. And plus, for me personally, I feel a lot better when I see familiar faces. And I feel like a lot of touring performers, they feel that way. Where, sometimes you get a certain anxiety going on the road. And for me, I was in a very bad car accident in 2013. Ever since that happened, I get a little bit of anxiety whenever I go on the road now. Whenever I go on the road, I have a little bit of anxiety. And it's been that way ever since that car accident. And I'm sure that has something to do with it. It was a pretty crazy experience. My car basically flew across a couple lanes of traffic because I got sideswiped by a Sherman-Williams truck. So I got sideswiped, it hit me, I went flying across traffic. And, I was totally lucid. So I was thinking I might get hit and killed. Because I was flying across traffic on a highway, just going across multiple lanes of traffic. If a car had been coming and if it would have hit me, that probably would have been it, because it probably would have hit me head on. Anyway, miraculously, nothing hit me. I hit a median, and I had some injuries, but, for the most part, I was okay. Sleeping was a bit of a pain in the ass because my ribs were pretty jacked up, but anyway, ever since then, I've had a certain anxiety whenever I go on the road, and seeing familiar faces really helps with that. So sometimes crashing with friends, it's not even, not only, does it help economically, but it also kind of helps me emotionally too, to kind of be around a familiar face and, catch up with somebody. So it kind of has value on multiple angles. But anyway, so this is just another, for instance, where they have a program where you get to make new connections. And I've gotten to make new connections because I do house shows now. And when you do something like that and you meet wonderful people throughout the country and you make these connections and, you know, you stay in somebody's home. And, of course, there's a screening process through all this. We always Skype together. We you know, talk and we, you know, exchange, you know, a lot of back and forths via phone and via, you know, conversation and via Skype. And so, you know, it's a well-vetted thing. But, you know, that experience for me has been overwhelmingly positive, and it's connected me to new people, and it's connected those people to other people. You know, sometimes people will tweet me and they'll have a photo of all of them hanging out, and they all met at one of my house shows. You know, so they came to this person's home for the house show. They all met. They realized they live in the same town and they're like-minded and they have some of the same interests. So they'll tweet me a photo. Hey, Ron, we all went bowling tonight here in, you know, San Antonio or Richmond, Virginia, or wherever it may be. And usually I'm just by myself, not doing anything that night. And I think, man, if only I lived in that town, I'd have something to do. No, sometimes I got a show or whatever else, but, you know. So anyway, stuff like this, when communities really get together and try to do what they can for the arts, it kind of reinvigorates or, you know, gives a nice little jump start to your faith in humanity. At least it does for me. So, you know, I feel like this festival should be housing musicians, but if they can't, and a lot of festivals can't, you know, this is really cool that the community steps in. All right, so that's a feel-good story. Cool. All right, let's move on. Here's another music festival news here. You know, guys, it is summertime, which means it's music festival season. And there's some etiquette that you need to follow when you go to music festivals, all right? You know, if there is a mosh pit, if you're in it, you're in it. Do your thing, whatever. But if you're not in it and you try to start one and no one around you wants that to be started, that's not cool. You gotta go to where the pit is, all right? That's a common courtesy thing. Don't be intrusive towards somebody. Respect people's personal space. The best that you can. I know sometimes when it's a big festival, you know, there's some, like, someone shoves into you and you fall into someone else. That happens. But, you know, you just do your best to be respectful and mindful of everyone's space. And another thing that you really need to do, don't pee on the ground. Don't do it. Don't pee on the ground. That's the warning here from a festival in Glastonbury. Let's see what they're saying out in Glastonbury. Glastonbury Festival, they really don't want you to pee on the ground. That's what Andrew's telling us here. The Environment Agency have the power to close the site if there is too much pollution. Glastonbury have asked festival goers to avoid urinating on the ground at this year's festival. The legendary event returns to Worthy Farm from Wednesday, the 26th, to Sunday, the 30th of June. And the lineup is headlined by Stormzy, The Killers, and The Cure. I'll be honest, man, if I was at that festival and I missed out on seeing The Cure, one of my favorite bands in the whole wide world, because too many people are peeing, I'm going to be mad. I'm going to be mad. Every time I pee for a while, I'm going to be like, damn it, I didn't get to hear The Cure. Damn it. So don't do it. Don't do it. All right, so what does the article tell you to do instead? They tell you to, here, hold on. Somewhere they said, oh yeah, here we go. Peeing on the land at Glastonbury causes pollution of the water table, which can affect local wildlife and fish, said the festival in a statement. The Environment Agency have the power to close the site if there is too much pollution. Please only pee in the hundreds of toilets and urinals on site. There you go. Don't pee on the ground. It can get in the water table. That's gross. That'd be... Imagine being told you can't perform. Imagine being... Robert Smith, sorry. You cannot go on Too much pee. What? There's too much pee. There's too much pee, Mr. Smith. We're sorry. Everybody was looking forward to your set. And then someone has to go make that announcement. Hey, excuse me, The Cure will not go on. Or there's a lot of other bands, too. I didn't mean to skim it. It's just Tame Impala, also. Vampire Weekend, Chemical Brothers, Wu-Tang Clan. Imagine having to tell the Wu-Tang Clan, hey, you guys aren't going on. Too many people are peeing. They're just peeing everywhere. And now, no music. Too much pee. So pee in the receptacles. Urinals, toilets. Don't pee on the ground. I know sometimes it ain't easy. Sometimes you really gotta go. Those lines are super long. You've been drinking a lot. Pace yourself. You know, you gotta do it. We've all been there. We've all been there. And I'm certainly not gonna say that I've never peed outside before. Of course I have. But I've never done it at a music festival, at least not to my memory. No, I'm pretty confident I never peed at a music festival. I've never been drunk at a music festival either. Fun fact, I'm not a big fan of day drinking in general, but at a music festival where it's really hot and you're around tons of people all day, yeah, that just doesn't sound pleasant to me. Being drunk at one, like, you're going to be dizzy and you're going to, So I never, even when I was a kid, and like we would have to sneak booze, so it was a big deal that we even had booze at all, I would still pass. They'd be like, Ron, we got some rum, man. Who knows when we're gonna get this again? And I'd be like, well, what a shitty time. Can we drink this tonight? Can we drink this after the show? No, because we're gonna. All right then, count me out. Even as a kid, I would pass. You know, in that circumstance, I wouldn't pass all the time, but in that circumstance, I remember one time, like, some of my friends snuck some booze for the Warped Tour, and we were like 13, and they were like, hey, we got some booze, it's Warped Tour. And I'm like, dude, I want to see, like, every band. I want to be going from stage to stage. I don't want to be drunk doing this. I don't need to be. It's 90 degrees out, humidity is high as hell. I mean, hey, call me a Debbie Downer, man, but when I go to a music festival, I want to hear the music, I want to see the music, I want to enjoy it. I don't need to be drunk for it. Especially not when I have an agenda. Keep in mind, this is when I was 13 years old, so I knew every single fucking band on pretty much every single stage on the Warped Tour. Now, I'd probably recognize about 5 or 6 bands. But back then, I knew everybody. I was on top of everything. This was in the days of Pure Volume. Y'all remember Pure Volume? I'm dating myself now. But anyway. So I wouldn't do that. So anyway, you know, don't pee on the ground, especially when you know it's near a water table. And just have that good music fest etiquette. You know, it's important. It really is. I've had some great times at music festivals. Oh, and by the way, when I say I don't get drunk, I'm not going to say I've never had a beer at a music festival. I'll do something like that. I won't get drunk, though. I'll just have, like, one. You know, then it's just refreshing. It's nice. You know, to have, like, a nice, you know, I had a nice summer wheat at Punk Rock Bowling. Last year I took my younger cousin, and he's a good bit younger than me, so he was, like, running around. Him and his girlfriend, they were running around the whole time because they're in their 20s. Then me and my fiance, we were kind of hanging back at the tent where there was, like, a little mist, so you could, like, stay cool that way. And we would just have beers there. We'd be like, all right, let's meet up again at such and such band. See you then. You know, it's fun times. All right, so just don't pee on the ground. That's the lesson there. All right, guys. All right, we have one serious story and then 2 kind of ridiculous ones. So we'll sandwich it. We'll do a ridiculous one, and then we'll do a serious one, and then we'll do the other kind of ridiculous, goofy one. And that's how we'll end the stream. All right. So check this out. Justin Bieber challenges Tom Cruise to a UFC fight. Justin Bieber wants to fight Tom Cruise. Hey, I just met you, and this is crazy, but here's my Thetans, so fight me maybe. I bet the only reason Ron's covering this is because he thought of that song and thought it was clever and wanted to sing it. You'd be right! You'd be right. You would be 100% right. That's exactly why. Exactly why. I thought of that. The Thetan thing, a reference to Scientology, which Tom Cruise is a Scientologist. I thought of that, wanted to sing it for you all. And that's the main reason why we're even talking about this at all. But let's see what's going on here. I don't know how serious this is or isn't, because if Justin Bieber and Tom Cruise have a beef, I don't give a shit. So, but anyway, and I get it. I am covering it because of that song. But so here's the tweet. I want to challenge Tom Cruise to fight in the octagon. Tom, if you don't take this fight, you're scared. By the way, I guess all the money in the world, you can't learn decent grammar. And you will never live it down. Who is willing to put on the fight? Dana White, question mark. And Conor McGregor, he's a former UFC champion. All right. He weighed in. If Tom Cruise is man enough to accept this challenge, McGregor Sports and Entertainment will host the bout. Does Cruise have the sprouts to fight like he does in the movie? Oh, man. Calling him out. Stay tuned to find out. All right. Jake Marsh, he hosts the comedy sports podcast, Pardon My Take, provided the rundown of the potential fight. So Bieber, 25, Cruise, 56. Tom Cruise is 5'7", Bieber's 5'9". I didn't realize that Justin Bieber was that tall. I knew Tom Cruise was on the shorter end, so, but yeah. All right, estimated reach, 68 for Bieber, 65 for Cruise. And then we got net worth. Because, I think that if the fight gets out of hand, one of the things they're going to do is that they're just going to throw money at each other. They're just going to throw just stacks of cash at each other. So Tom Cruise would be better off in that scenario because he is worth $570 million, where Justin Bieber is only worth a meager $265 million. Poor guy. So there you have it. I don't know if this is serious or not, but that'd be interesting if they fought. I think Tom Cruise would win because I think he's kind of nuts. And I never bet against a kind of nuts person in a fight. I think Tom Cruise is, there's a big age difference. Justin Bieber in his 20s, in his prime. Tom Cruise, he is older, significantly older than Justin Bieber. That's a factor. I mean, come on, that's totally fair. That's a factor. But I don't know, man. Tom Cruise, he's kind of crazy. I feel like he would beat Justin Bieber. I really do. I would bet on Cruise. I'm not going to bet on it because I wouldn't take the effort or energy to find out how. Just not my thing. But I would bet on Tom Cruise if I were a betting person. And we should have done this one last so that I could ask you guys who were you betting on. But anyway, we'll cover that. We'll cover that in the chat later. All right, so there you go. Justin Bieber might want to fight Tom Cruise. We'll see. All right, so here's something that the DNC is doing. So Justin Bieber wants to fight Tom Cruise, but the DNC, they do not want to have a contest of wits when it comes to climate change. All right, let's see what the DNC is doing now. The DNC faces outrage as it announces it will not host a 2020 debate on climate crisis. Sparking a torrent of backlash from Democratic White House contenders, environmental organizations, and youth climate leaders, the DNC announced Wednesday it will not host a climate-specific presidential primary debate and will push candidates who attend a debate hosted by any other... and will punish... Oh, okay. I thought... All right. I was going too fast there. It will punish candidates who attend a debate hosted by any other organization. That's awesome. That's wonderful. So if Sunrise Movement wants to have a debate around climate change, the DNC will punish candidates that attend it. They'll punish them. How will they punish them? I wonder. Probably by making up more bullshit rules so that they can't compete for president. That's probably how. That's awesome. They're punishing you to potentially report to citizens. They're punishing you to engage in civil dialogue, to engage in debate, to engage in an exchange of ideas. The DNC sees that as a thing worthy of punishment. That's worthy of punishment if you're the DNC. Why? Because they know that the candidates they want to see be the nominee for president don't have a fucking plan for climate change. Or if they do, they copy it from the fossil fuel industry like Joe Biden. Or they want to make sure they appease the fossil industry because they take a ton of money from them, like Beto O'Rourke. Or they just don't have a plan because they wouldn't want to hurt anyone's feelings, like Pete Buttigieg. Although, in fairness to Buttigieg, he did say something about a Green New Deal. To be totally fair to him, he does have something about a Green New Deal on his website. So, he's better than some of the establishment folks on that. All right. And by some, I mean probably all. So, just being fair there to Pete Buttigieg. It's likely just lip service. That's definitely just lip service. But anyway, all right, getting back to this article. News of the DNC's decision was made 20 by 2020 presidential candidate in Washington, Governor Jay Inslee, who was the first Democratic contender to call for a debate focused solely on the climate crisis. All right, so here's Jay Inslee's quote. Today, my team received a call from the DNC letting us know they will not host a climate debate, Inslee said in a statement. Further, they explained that if we participate in anyone else's climate debate, we will not be invited to future debates. This is deeply disappointing. The DNC is silencing the voices of Democratic activists, many of our progressive partner organizations, and nearly half of the Democratic presidential field who want to debate the existential crisis of our time. It's more of Inslee's quote. Yep, but you know who doesn't want that? The DNC. Because the DNC knows that the candidate they want to move forward, which, by the way, the one they want the most right now, Joe Biden. That could change, but right now, Biden's kind of like what they're trying to shove down our throats this week. And I have a feeling they're going to give another round to Kamala. But they know that all of their appointed nominees, the corporate bought nominees, they're incapable of motivating people. Joe Biden especially. Joe Biden is incapable of raising his poll numbers. The more he speaks, the less people like him. The more he speaks, the more baggage we're finding, which that guy has more baggage than the Atlanta airport. The more he speaks, the worse off he is. Kamala Harris revealing more of the same thing. She tanked at the KDEM convention in California. Pete Buttigieg, people are realizing he has no idea. Same with Beto O'Rourke. Nobody is taking to these candidates because they offer nothing. Absolutely nothing. The DNC knows this. So they know if you put them on a debate stage with a Mike Gravel, with a Bernie Sanders, with a Tulsi Gabbard, they're going to get eaten alive. They know that. So they want as few debates as possible. And they're already, I mean, with the way they schedule them, with the way that all the rules that they make, they want viewership to be down. They want as few as possible. They want to just have a clouded field. They want to rely on name recognition so it can go to a second ballot and the superdelegates can step in and make sure they get their appointed nominee. That's what they want to see happen. And they're not willing to hold a debate on climate change. Why? Because they know that anybody watching that would realize, wow, Bernie and Tulsi have ideas. Everybody else, no ideas. No ideas whatsoever. Not even taking this seriously. Gee, I wonder why. I wonder if it has something to do with this. From oil companies in the fossil fuel industry. DNC, if you participate in a debate about climate catastrophe, we'll punish you. We'll punish you. If you want to talk to the Sunrise Movement, we'll punish you. If you want to talk to students who are protesting, student protests, and the worldwide climate action led by high school students, if you want to talk to them and assure them that we're going to keep this planet, that we're going to stay on this planet, basically, you'll get punished for that. That's the DNC. And it's so tragically ironic that the word Democratic is in their name. Because they are the opposite. All right. And guys, here's something totally goofy and off the wall. Study concludes bigger than average penis is a disability and it's associated with low mental capacity. This was done by a study. This study was completely conducted by dudes. It was all angry guys conducting this study. All right. So, and this is just, are you a proud owner of a big manhood? We have bad news for you. Are you considered average or small down there? Then you have nothing to worry about. Researchers who study the male reproductive organs for over 30 years in the University of Sussex in Brighton, England, with help from the University of Kinshasa in the DRC, have a disappointing conclusion for those who are well endured. Unfortunately, a larger than average penis is a disability, and 9 out of the 10 of the man-dingle holders are technically dumb, as in they cannot use their brains very well. The researcher said there is absolutely no reason a human should have a penis that is more than 15 centimeters, which is around 6 inches. A longer penis would make rough sex uncomfortable to both the participants because the penis would literally be knocking on the womb. All right. Check out this sentence. So I think this article is supposed to be kind of goofy, obviously. Women who believe, this is from the article, women who believe a bigger-than-life penis is the real deal were also found to lack brain activity in the parts of the brain that contribute to creativity and critical thinking. All right, so that sentence is just straight up coming across as bitter, and it sounds like the author of that article might be a dude that got some complaints. I'm just saying, don't you think? That sounds a little bitter. You know, a lot of it's goofy, it's satirical, it's supposed to be, like, goofy. You know, a lot of, like the verbiage is goofy intentionally, so that just kind of comes off as a little bitter. You might have gotten some complaints. I'm sure there's nothing about that in this study. And I'm sure this study is more formally worded, if you will. So there you go. All right. So, whenever you get something wrong, if you're a guy, whenever you get something wrong, just be like, hey, I guess, I'm going to blame it on my huge penis. I guess that's why. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I get what else could it be? What else could it be? So I'm sure that study has, just a bunch of kind of goofy observations, and I wouldn't put that much stock into it, obviously. In case anyone was like, this is a real serious study, it's a goofy article. It's intentionally goofy. The study's probably analyzes a lot of different things. It's probably just one kind of reach. I'm sure the data is just whatever. Yeah. But it's kind of fun. And that last sentence totally comes off as bitter. Be like, women that say that. Like, all right. So anyway, let me see what y'all are saying, and that's how we'll end the show. Who would win in a fight, Tom Cruise or Justin Bieber? Getting back to the important issues here. Slow News Day says, I'm only wrong because my giant dong. And you made it rhyme. Brilliant. Yes. Some of you guys are, some of y'all are giving a shout out to your partners in the penis department. All right, good for you. Good for you. Why did Justin challenge Cruise? I don't know. I don't know if there's some beef between them. I have no idea. I don't really, yeah. Occupy New Paradigm asks if it's time for a magic mushroom revolution. I say so, yes. I'm going to go with yeah. Because they decriminalized it in Colorado and Oakland, California. They're decriminalizing it, which is really cool. Schultze says, sorry I fucked everything up. I got a big cock. I can't help it. Chris Wynn says that Tom Cruise will be backed up with a bunch of Scientologists versus Bieber, who would just have a bunch of teenage girls. Frederick, are you feeling Bieber? Lady, I'm allergic to mushrooms, even the magic kind. Are you allergic to the magic kind too? That's a bummer. I love mushrooms. I love mushrooms on pizza. I love mushrooms in different dishes. Yeah, I'm a fan. Marsha, I hope you're feeling better. And guys, we are completely out of time. I do need to go get back to this campaign. So, All right, Frederick, you're betting Bieber. So we got some Bieber. See, I'm betting Cruz. And it has everything to do with, I think Cruz is nuts. And I feel like they're pretty, I mean, there is a big age difference, but I feel like for the most part, they're kind of even physically. So I just feel like Cruz, he has that nuts factor. And I think Cruz would beat him. I really do. Guys, we are out of time. I got to get back to this campaign. What campaign am I referring to in case you're not in the know? Tomorrow, tune in to epiclivestream.com. It starts at 9 a.m. Eastern time, and it goes all freaking day. So this isn't going to be happening, so please tune into that instead. epiclivestream.com. We are doing an all-day live stream. That's myself and Fight for the Future. We're doing an all-day live stream for net neutrality. It's been 1 year tomorrow since the FCC repealed net neutrality, but we're showing up to Mitch McConnell's office to give a petition for net neutrality. There's also going to be a back and forth about it between members of Congress to force the Senate to vote on the Save the Internet Act. We'll see what happens there, but we're going to be doing that all day tomorrow. epiclivestream.com. Again, that's epiclivestream.com. I'm going to be in D.C. in the Senate building live streaming. What more can you ask for? epiclivestream.com. And then, why am I in DC in the first place? Because the East Coast leg of the Progressive Comedy Tour is happening right after that. Yes. June 12th, Washington, D.C. June 13th, Baltimore, Maryland. June 14th, 15th, Philly. 2 nights in Philadelphia. June 16th, New Haven, Connecticut. June 17th, New York City. June 19th, Boston, Massachusetts. Tickets are available now at romplacone.com. July 27th, we're going to be in Vegas, baby. Progressive Comedy Tour is coming back to Vegas. It'll be the first stop we hit twice. So July 27th, get your tickets now, romplacone.com. And tickets aren't available yet because this has just been confirmed, but I'm going to announce it now. September 6th, Madison, Wisconsin. September 7th, Minneapolis, Minnesota. One of my favorite regions. I can't wait. And we might have some more Northern Plain dates. Milwaukee, are you interested? Eau Claire, are you interested? We'll see what happens there. But for right now, September 6th, Madison, September 7th, Minneapolis. Tickets will be available real soon. If you want to support this show on the sustainability end, please do consider becoming a patron. Patreon.com/romplacone. For a give what you can level, you get all kinds of exclusive content, including my album, and you help me expand this show. I want to do more streams. I want to do more boots on the ground stuff. I want to do more interviews. And yeah, sustaining the show, necessary for that to happen. Please like and share these videos. Please put it on autoplay in a separate window and let the ads play through. And don't just do that for me. Do that for all the content creators you know and love. It helps sustain our channels and is necessary to our survival. You get the drill. You get the drill. Guys, I'm going to be on the road. I'm going to be on the road for a while. This is our last stream until, hold on, I got to get June 25th. Yeah. This is our last stream. I had to look at my calendar real quick there. June 25th will be our next stream. So we're taking a little hiatus for a bit. There will be content coming out on this channel. There will be clips. I will be doing segments from the road. So there will be content coming out on this channel. But there will not be another live stream until June 25th. So we're taking a little break. I'll be coming at you with different content. So this channel will still be active. So please tune in. But we won't have any live streams. So I'll see you all on epiclivestream.com tomorrow. I'll see some of you on the East Coast, June 12th through 19th. Tickets at romplacone.com. And until then, stay safe. This has been Get Your News On With Ron, the world's first viewer-curated streaming news show. Consider the news gotten. Doesn't even make sense. You know the drill. Lucy says meow. I say peace. Peace.